Hi everyone, it's Damon from Fender at the unsurpassed Red Dog Music in Edinburgh. Now, I'm here to go through some of the cool guitars, basses, etc. that Fender have out for 2015. The next one we've got is a rather glorious FSR V-neck US standard. Fender this year, we're all about the American standard. It's the iconic American guitar. It's what we all aspire to at the end of the day. So we bring out these special runs to give you something that's a little bit different. So they might be finished differently, have different pickups, etc. This specific one has a very nice, almost kind of feels like a 50s V-neck, okay? So like a soft V to the neck. Anyone who's ever played one of the Eric Clapton signature Strats, for instance, will know in the 50s, some of the necks that came out of the factory had a V to them, and people like that. So we've done that. Obviously, we have the, I can't remember what it's called.
Anodized.
Anodized. We have the anodized scratch plate, again, which gives it that kind of vintage vibe. And this finish, which I don't know if you can see, let's get it in the light here. This is Mystic Sunburst. So you take the classic iconic Fender Sunburst finish and give it a kind of a metallic hue. It really pops when you put it under the lights. So you get all the features that you'd expect from a US standard guitar. We have the 2-point trem, but with vintage bridge saddles and a full density, full size vintage trem block, which kind of adds to the vintage tone. We have staggered machine heads, we have rolled edges to the fretboard. Very important, American standards have a 9.5 radius neck, medium jumbo frets, which means they're easy to play. So if you want to do any of that kind of shenanigans, shreddy stuff, it's a lot easier to do on the American standard guitars. Something else that's really important that we must mention, obviously, hand-built in California. A couple of years ago, we started putting custom shop pickups on all US standard guitars. So straight away, you've got the beautiful handmade American guitar, but you've also got the custom shop wound pickups. So the pickups on this guitar are what we call Fat 50s. Now, what is that, I hear you cry? It's easy to explain. If you listen to a 50s style guitar, the pickups are quite low output, they're very bright, they've not got much body to them. They've got that classic twang and sparkle, definition. But if you use an overdriven amp or you're playing heavier styles of music, they're not pokey enough, they're not middly enough, and they can sound a bit bright. So what we now put on the American standards are custom shop Fat 50s. So you get all of the spank, all of that glorious top end and clarity and definition that you get from a vintage style Strat pickup, but it's overwound, so it's got a bit more girth, a bit more mid-range, so it will drive your amp harder but also sweeter as well. So clean. If you want to get your funk on, and who doesn't, it's got it all. That's perfect, that lovely compressed sound. On the neck, it does all that. But if we add some drive, the Fat 50s just hit it a bit harder, bit more girth, bit more warmth. So the Fat 50s kind of give you the best of both worlds. Great jangly clean sounds, but when you're using an overdriven sound, a bit more warmth, a bit more mid-range. So you need to come down to Red Dog Music and try this limited run 2015 US standard V-neck Strat. Not a jumper, it's a guitar. Okay, it's got that lovely 50s style V-neck. But with all of our special run stuff that we do at Fender, it will only be here for a short period of time. So should you watch this or come into the store and fall in love with this guitar, just remember, it won't be here forever. So come and get it while it's hot.